Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as we take a look at the Taurus Solar Eclipse happening on April 30th at 2:28 p.m. That is Mountain Time. Why is the chart in Calgary, Alberta? Because life is unpredictable right now. You just don't know what kind of chart I'm going to pull up onto your screen. But that's what we're working with. So let's take a look at what this chart reveals. So here we have the new moon solar eclipse happening at 10 degrees of Taurus, which is the point in your chart you want to locate, where you have this 10 degrees of Taurus with the sun and the moon conjunct, beginning a new journey together. This is the yin yang, anima, animus, feminine, masculine energies in union and beginning a new cycle that has an extra powerful punch because it is a solar eclipse. And during this time, your intentions are powerful. They have more energy behind them. And in Taurus, it's time to basically plant those intentions into the ground them in, really make sure they're stable and strong and firmly connected to what you love about yourself, what you've accepted about who you are. Make sure it is tied into your new sense of self-worth and how you want to build and create a meaningful life for yourself right now, especially after all of the big changes and everything we've been through in recent years. This is a Taurus solar eclipse that really highlights powerful new beginnings, especially around areas of your life that had a lot of change. Now, you'll see that the sun and the moon are conjunct Uranus at 14 degrees of Taurus. But what's really important here about this particular story is that Uranus was at 10 degrees of Taurus from July 2020 until February of this year, where it went back and forth, stationed retrograde here at 10 degrees. And when Uranus is moving through a part of your chart, it tears up the ground. It is chaotic, disruptive, where big changes happen in your life, maybe out of the blue. Maybe you were blindsided. Maybe something happened, it just caught you off guard. You had to adapt quickly. It threw off your sense of security, what you knew about your life. Uranus comes through, tears things up, and then asks you to look at what are your values now, which is the domain of Taurus. What do you value now after the changes, growth, and experiences you've had that maybe were very disruptive, changed things around in your life, and created something that maybe you didn't see before? Meaning you're starting to see more of what truly matters and what you truly need. So here we have a solar eclipse traveling behind Uranus, and now it's calmer because Uranus is not going to come back to this point of your chart. Uranus is done tearing up this part of your world. Now the sun and the moon are asking you to plant new energies. Really take a look at what you need to stabilize your life. Where do you feel energy that is peaceful or calming coming in? Yes, they're still conjunct Uranus, which is dynamic and can have a lot around it that's exciting, unexpected, unpredictable. But the degree point here is about really understanding what you need, what you're choosing that relates to your life, your life's ability to grow and develop. Taurus wants you to connect to your world, your physical world, your immediate world, your body. Take stock, take inventory, and look at what you need that supports you and where you're ready to make some new beginnings and some fresh starts that are true for you, perhaps even truer than they've been for many years. So we're really focusing on a new sense of stability here that you're actively claiming and working with. Now, the ruler of this solar eclipse is Venus. And she has so much energy working with her in this chart that it's really special. It's really unique and different. So let's take a look at this because Venus is the ruler of Taurus. And so that makes her more prominent in this particular energy. but she's also being raised up and elevated through multiple energy sources right now. So look at how Venus at 27 degrees of Pisces, 55 minutes, is nearly exactly conjunct Jupiter in Pisces. This is an important conjunction that we always take note of every year. And now it's extra potent because Venus is the ruler of the eclipse. She just had a conjunction to Neptune, exact conjunction. She's still in conjunction here. And this means she's still feeling that very powerful Neptune and Pisces influence of being able to let things go, forgive, be complete, find compassion, release, allow an ending to occur. And then she has that conjunction to Jupiter, which shows her what she's learned, how she's grown, how she's spiritually developed and matured because of what she has been through. Then this Venus is also receiving a sextile from Pluto. Pluto is now retrograde in Capricorn at 28 degrees. And this Pluto is where we now call in and call back our power. We call it into ourselves to sit with it, look at it, be discerning, alchemize what we need to work through. Look at where there are parts of our energies that maybe we have put it too much out into the world, into other people. And now the Pluto retrograde brings it in so that you can really have a sense of authority and mastery over what is best for you now that connects to your own growth, evolution, and ultimately empowerment. Because that is one of the driving intentions of Pluto, is that it taps you into what you're learning, what's permanently changing in your life, and how you're using it to go forward with a higher sense of your own personal power. Now, we're not done, because Venus has been connecting to the North Node at 23 Taurus and the South Node at 23 of Scorpio. And they're still in play. They're still connecting with her energy. So this Venus has so much support here and is really the only personal planet that does. And she's highly elevated. And so what this means, it means many things, but what is standing out is that Venus is relationships, love, how we receive, how we value ourselves and value others, our connections, how we share and interact with others, how we show up and connect with all energies in our lives based on what is valuable to us. She's very strong in Pisces, where she's exalted, and she's sitting here with the rulers of Pisces. So I feel like she's being elevated. And it also feels like, because it's near the very end of the whole zodiac wheel, the zodiac wheel ends at 29 of Pisces. This Venus has been on a huge journey, especially since last November. Now, last November, we had the Taurus lunar eclipse at 27 degrees of Taurus. And then this Venus embarked on a very big retrograde where she had multiple conjunctions to Pluto. She met up with Mars, and she has been deeply reprogrammed. She feels very different about who she is, what she wants, what she needs, what she values. I feel like this Venus, since the last Taurus eclipse, November 19th, her energy has been so deeply reworked, and it was intense, challenging. There was a lot going on that maybe brought you into hidden places and other realms that were very uncomfortable. But she has come to understand so much. She has so much wisdom right now. And it feels like her energy, as she entered Pisces, her energy was drained out. Like the old energies, the debris, what she was carrying, what she was holding across multiple lifetimes has been drained out. This can certainly be relationships that you're realizing no longer are right for you. They don't resonate. They're not connecting. They're not the same frequency. These can be connections that you have with women, which is Venus, whether those are friendships, coworkers, sisters, family members. and you're feeling how much you've changed and shifted, especially if you've been doing your work. Now this Venus is becoming very enlightened. And that's the case when she had the exact conjunction in Neptune. But now her enlightenment is getting broader and bigger, but deeper and wiser. There's something here that's permanently changing in our relationships to ourselves that is then showing up in our relationships to others. And there's an elevation here, an enlightenment with Venus, a sense of she's owning more of who she is, what she needs, what she loves. But it comes from her God self because she's in Pisces and she's connecting with the rulers of Pisces. She's having big spiritual downloads around what really matters to her in this life, because part of the Pisces energy is how everything is impermanent. Everything is temporary. Think about what were you worried about, 2 weeks ago, 4 months ago. Are you still concerned with that? Is it still the same energy? Because now this Venus is so deeply shifted and evolved into more of what she values, wants, and needs, that she has moved through a veil. And that's what it feels like here as she's moving through these connections to Neptune, Jupiter, and the favorable sextile from Pluto. She's moving through a really big veil here into a whole new world that she doesn't see yet, but she feels it. It's calling to her. Like she's being called forward into a new part of her life that is meant to truly show her more about a bigger sense of love. And that's the Jupiter expansion. This is, of course, very strong divine feminine energy within all of us, regardless of your gender or sex. But it's opening you up to maybe more of what you love and accept in yourself that previous relationships didn't honor, didn't see, because you didn't see it. So it's certainly not about the lower Pisces energies of blame or victim energy or self-pity. This is a higher consciousness understanding of here I am in my human body on this big journey, and now I've been through enough, especially in relationships, that have changed me, shifted me, evolved me. And now there's this energy of really getting into unconditionally loving yourself, accepting your warts and scars and bumps and bruises and everything that just connects to your sense of feeling in love with yourself. And then that is the energy that goes out into your aura. And then that then attracts and brings in different kinds of people at different frequency levels. It is that big. Big relationship changes. This could be big relationship endings where you just don't have anything in common. The past is over. You're not sure what you would, even talk about with certain people. Like that can be part of this energy where you could feel like there's a void between you and another. But what this also is showing you is how you could even feel this higher spiritual understanding of what all those relationships have been about. And part of the Pisces gift, we have these 4 planets in Pisces, is to see everyone as a spiritual teacher. And what have they taught you? What have you learned through those connections, through those relationships, through those friendships, again, family relationships, colleagues, acquaintances, on and on, right? This is something where Venus is going to really get into more of what it means to travel with a higher sense of her own self-love and what that means for her going forward. And it means that this former Venus retrograde in Capricorn, where she had multiple conjunctions to Pluto, she had 3 conjunctions to Pluto, it's what transformed her deeply, and it's paying off because now Pluto in the sextile is supporting her powerfully, almost like Pluto saying, see, wasn't it worth it? Even though it was dark, heavy, painful, intense, it was needed so that you could elevate your self-love to a higher frequency that then is going to open new doors going forward. And then you take that energy and you really land it. You physically integrate it, embody it, really understand how this is what you're working with and carrying forward. And the Taurus energy wants it to be simple, calm, peaceful, easy. That Taurus energy also wants it to be practical, because everything that we've been through, now it's time to really apply it. It's not just simply talking the talk, it's walking the walk. And that is one of the things that the earth signs are about, is how you show up. So I feel like this Venus is receiving so much energy towards the end of April here at this Taurus solar eclipse, that this is where there's going to be some powerful understandings around your own life themes as it relates to love, as it relates to women, as it relates to femininity, as it relates to your own divine feminine energies, and even more. I mean, this feels like a really big topic because this Venus has so much energy supporting her right now, supporting her, elevating her, evolving her, enlightening her. You get the idea that you could even feel the romanticizing, idealizing. I mean, the Venus and Pisces can also be living in a fairy tale, and you open the door and the windows to your bedroom and expect the birds to come in and make your bed. You know, it's kind of that, like, what's even real? And I feel like what Venus is getting to the heart of in herself is her unconditional love for herself. So a very big part of this chart, since she's the ruler and she's connecting to all these other really powerful energies in this chart, in this solar eclipse chart. Now we also have this Mars in Pisces at 11, nearly 12 degrees of Pisces. And Mars is not strong in Pisces. He is no longer the warrior. He sits on his yoga mat, drinks his green tea, takes some deep breaths, basically prepares his energy for the next adventure, the new start that's on its way. And so this is a Mars that can be more subdued. However, he is receiving a supportive sextile from the Sun, Moon, and Uranus, all in Taurus. And this sextile is energizing Mars. So Mars does have support and fuel here, although it's different than what he's used to. These are feminine energies, but they are more about understanding what he's feeling, sensing, trusting it, putting energy towards that, sensing too that what this Mars in Pisces is really looking for is closure, is completion, is ending a previous cycle, is not wanting to get involved with something that he can feel he's done with. And I feel like there's something where he's already connecting to, you know, the support, the grounded reality check of Taurus. The earth signs provide that. And the earth signs also show you what your life is about. So this Mars could even have a bigger understanding of what he's been through over the past 2 years, especially since he was retrograde in Aries about 2 years ago. And now he's completing a cycle, as he does every 2 years. But it feels like there's energy here where he's still able to take action. It could be slow action because of that Taurus energy that wants something firm to stand on before taking next steps. But this Mars, he is actually being supported. So he's got that going for him. Now, we also have this Mercury up here at 0 degrees of Gemini. And Mercury is in his retrograde shadow, as Mercury will station retrograde at 4 degrees of Gemini on May 10th, which is the same day that Jupiter enters Aries. And the retrograde will go back to 26 degrees of Taurus. So Mercury will re-enter Taurus. But at this time, there could even be a lot more happening because Mercury is very at home in Gemini. A lot of ideas, multitasker, on the go, day trips, wanting to communicate, wanting to say things. You know, this is where we have support in clearing out any stuck energy in the throat chakra and opening up what we need to express. Although as he's in his shadow, just take your time, think it through, practice mindfulness, be aware of the power of your words, how you're saying it, how you're communicating it, check for typos, all that good stuff, because as Mercury does station retrograde in Gemini, we don't want to have more issues that we could have prevented. So there is something very mindful about this particular Mercury in Gemini as he moves through his shadow zone. Now, the other strong energy we have going on that we've been talking about through most of April is this Saturn at 24 degrees of Aquarius, squaring the nodes. And the nodes are now at 23 degrees of Taurus and 23 degrees of Scorpio. And this has been applying the pressure for choices, decisions, things we need to basically figure out. But this energy continues into May because of how Saturn will be at nearly 25 degrees squaring the Scorpio lunar eclipse. So this energy does become more prominent into May. But at this time, this Saturn is the 3D reality, and Neptune is the 5D energies. 3D, 5D, and they're both connecting to the nodes of fate. It could be some choices you're making about the reality in your life and what you're moving through, deciding, needing to make some new life choices around. But there's something here with the strong Pisces energy that could bring in a peacefulness and that ongoing trusting that we've been talking about, because we've been talking about this Pisces stellium for a long time now. But this is something that we're mastering. This is a Pisces masterclass, and it's really helping you understand what cycles are complete. Because as we move into May, we see Jupiter, Venus, and Mars all enter Aries, and it's almost like we get this new Aries season coming in, and that's where the beginnings are going to happen and take off and be easier. They're going to be energized. They're going to be more expansive in the Aries part of your chart. And yet, at the same time, we're very aware that there are parts of our reality that we can't take any shortcuts. And Saturn requires that focus, commitment, maturity, responsibility in the parts of our lives that are we're assessing what stays and what goes. But this is a Taurus solar eclipse of new beginnings that are powerfully supported because they're connected to your spiritual growth. And so if it's not connected to your spiritual growth in this next chapter, it won't stick. It won't stick. It's almost like there can be false starts with Pisces, especially because if Pisces is idealizing someone or something or a situation, it will prove that it doesn't have legs. And the Taurus energy requires that something has legs, that it has stability, that you can do something with it. And so there could be something here where you're starting to see maybe a new truth, a situation in a different way. You're seeing where, again, it just doesn't have anything behind it. It's just propped up, right? And there's nothing behind it of real matter. So I feel like what we're looking at here is that we're moving through a veil. We're moving through a particular energy field that is showing you how much you have changed, evolved, and grown, how much you are deeply reprogrammed through the divine feminine energies. I feel this is more open-hearted energy, certainly a desire for more of those open heart connections and energies in friendships and relationships, in partnerships. This is an expansion in the heart space, and it's from the feminine energies within us. And there's something here that's asking you, what are you ready to make room for in your life, in your world, in your energy field? Because that's what the Taurus energy wants. It wants you to get started and move forward on something in your physical reality. And then here we have these Pisces energies that are working at a higher frequency. Perhaps showing you how you're ready to do something different and new and fresh and exciting. That's always a Uranus signature as well. So I feel like there's this very powerful new beginning that is ready to emerge and have some type of practical component to it with Taurus. And I feel like it has to do with how we've been doing our healing work, our shadow work, our inner child work, all the work we do, that now it's paying off. And I feel too like the energy of this Pisces is how the divine is traveling with you. God, the universe, your higher self is traveling with you to see you through this veil, to help you get to the other side of something in your life, in your world, that is going to be different because now you're different. And it will be different for everyone, depending on whether you have been really looking at what needs to shift and change in your life. There could be people who haven't done any kind of healing work or any type of personal work, and they're going to be on a very different frequency. And so that could be very revealing to you as well. One thing about the Pisces too is that, you don't always know what's real. And so you're really trusting how you feel around people. You're trusting what you're sensing. And it's not so much the words they say, but the energy that comes across. And that is going to give you more insight than anything else. So a very powerful Taurus solar eclipse that is honoring your spiritual evolution. And this is where the universe is going to bring in new energies that reflect that back to you. And it could feel exciting or celebratory. It could feel like finally, this does feel like the 11th hour. I mean, the end of the zodiac here. It's like at the 11th hour, something wonderful shows up or comes through. And you're like, is it too good to be true? Can I trust it? And I feel like the energy here, there's a sincerity, there's a realness, there's something that, especially the Pluto working with Venus and Jupiter, is saying, yeah, it's real, it's true, it's powerful. So what do you want? Do you want it? Do you not want it? Do you want this new beginning, this new start in this part of your life? And if so, it's happening. And this is where, again, at the 11th hour, something comes through. It could feel like a saving grace. That would be a very Pisces phrase. But you don't need saving. And the universe knows you don't need saving. It's more like that acknowledgement of what you've been through, and to help cleanse you so that for the new cycles that are happening in Aries energies, you have that sense of, yeah, I've really shifted, and look at where I'm going next. Look at what I'm starting now. So overall, it just feels like a very positive chart. I know it's going to work with everyone differently. I do want to acknowledge that, look at all the planets we have on this side of a chart. And so for Virgo, if you have planets or points in Virgo, the Pisces energy could really be a struggle right now, but it's teaching you more about how to navigate through the world and this life. And the same is true for Scorpio, where the Scorpio energies are clearing out and they're ending. There are big Scorpio energies throughout this year, since we now are in the Taurus and Scorpio eclipse cycles. And you could be feeling it even more so in the Scorpio areas of your life, where there's things you're meant to make simple right now, to simplify. And that is something that the Taurus energies want us to embrace and work with, as well as to find peace and harmony in the simplicity of life. So it's quite a chart. It has a lot of favorable energies for new beginnings, new starts. Again, your own spiritual evolution, how you've grown, what you've moved through, and really loving that about yourself. So really love how far you've come, honor it, acknowledge it, own it, really understand that there's things about our journeys that only we know about. And this is a time to truly understand that in yourself, to look at everyone as a spiritual teacher, but to still be discerning about who you travel with going forward, and that it's okay if the energy doesn't match anymore. It doesn't have to be personal. It's just energetic. And that could even help you understand if there's certain people that you're not wanting to connect with, or that aren't meant to travel with you going forward. So we have a lot here. And as always, I hope this has provided some insights into your chart and into your own experiences at this time. I do more on the eclipses in my 2022 Soul Growth Astrology program. So please check that out if you haven't already, where I talk about the 4 types of eclipses we have and then what it means as they move through your chart and work with different points and planets in your chart. And you can check out the coupon code below as well, because that is something that you may really benefit from, since this is only the first eclipse of 2022. So I'll be back with another video on the Scorpio lunar eclipse soon. In the meantime, thank you so much for your comments, your likes, subscribes, and thank you for sharing this with others who really would benefit and enjoy this astrology as well. I'll see you back here soon.